Yeah, so hello everyone. Good morning, everyone. Once again, we'd like to say we are so glad to have you all with us this morning. Thank you for being here. For us many that are already online, they're already connected. We want to say a big thank you to everyone. Okay, so quickly, uh, we have um we have yet some of our facilitators in our midst, and I'd like to especially recognize their presence. We have Miss Teresa with us this morning. Yeah, see you when you came in so long. Yeah, Mr. Teresa, good morning, and thank you for joining us again this morning. It's good to see you. It's good to have you around. Thank you so much. Agide, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Thank you so much for having me, Mr. Adebayo.
Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, great. So we still have Mr. Lani. Mr. Lani is here with us. Mr. Lani, Miss Teresa is she is an education and ethical consultant from UAE, United Arab Emirates. And then we also have Mr. Lani here. He's also an education and tech consultant from Turkey. Mr. Lani, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning.
Great, great. Mr. Lani, you're welcome. It's good
Good
to have
morning.
you again here. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah, good. You're welcome, sir. It's good to have you here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So great. This morning, without much ado, want to address a few things this morning before we go on. And one of the things that we want to quickly look at is that we some questions were raised on Monday, and because of time, we intend to be as as quick as to manage our time as much as possible. All right. So we don't want to take much time online, as we understand the fact that staying too long online will be too expensive at a time like this. Yeah, for a lot of teachers. So we don't want to do that. We want to attend and make sure we are as much as possible. Okay, so some questions were raised on Monday. We couldn't look at them because of the time. So we just want to address a few of those questions right now, and then we'll go into today's session. All right, so please, I'd like to encourage you, tell your friends around, tell them to hook up. They can join us on YouTube. We are currently live on YouTube. They can join us and be a part of this. You can also send the link to the Zoom room to them so they can also join us here too. We have a lot to do today. We're going to be sharing us into groups. Every participant is going to be sharing us into groups for us to do some things together, some group works and all of that. Okay, that will be towards the end of the meeting today. All right, so quickly, we have some questions that we asked them in the last session. And okay, I want to quickly roll through some of the questions. Yeah, so one of the questions that was asked was focused on how to avoid distractions online. Okay, so it was focused on how to avoid. It says okay, uh, how do we deal with the use of technological tools and distractions in teaching and learning processes, especially when you have internet-enabled gadgets? All right, I think it was asked, like about 3 persons asked the same question, all right, as in how to effectively curtail distractions. All right, so we're looking at two users in this context. We're looking at for those that are probably using a laptop, and then we're also looking at those that are using the mobile phone. Now, we understand that when it comes to e-learning, we have three stakeholders. Right, please. So we understand that when it comes to e-learning, we have three stakeholders. We have the parents, we have the learners, and we also have the educators too. We have the parents, the learners, the three of them are involved. All right, so there's this part between the parents and the educator that needs to be settled. All right, so as we have it, there are some tools that can be used, right, to build a secure virtual environment. All right. For example, if you're using a mobile phone, an Android device, there's this particular application called Block Site. So with Block Site, you can actually block some applications, block some websites on the phone, so that those sites, those applications are not going to be accessible as long as much as that phone is concerned. All right, so Block Site is an Android app that can be used to create a secure online virtual environment on the Android device. All right, so then block set can also be used on the internet too. Like you could connect it to the Google Chrome, as an extension, and it works that way. Another very strong one that can be used for laptop users is the Cold Turkey Blocker. Okay, so the Cold Turkey Blocker is an application. It works as an application on your laptop, and it can also work as a Chrome extension. Right, so this is basically for for parents and educators. The learners should not get to years like this. They may start feeling insecure and all of that, and you may not get the best of them. All right, so this is where family engagement comes in. This is where educators need to discuss with parents and secretly address things like this. All right, so I talked about Code Talkie Blocker. Code Talkie Blocker is an application that can be used, all right, to really create a safe online environment too. So with Code Talkie Blocker, you can block some sites on your laptop, specifically with the Chrome extension, not even outside the Chrome. If you're using a Google Chrome, it's commonly used, even outside Chrome, you also use it on your laptop at large, all right, to make sure that several parts or, sites are blocked and applications are blocked and they are actually ineffective on the system. So you can actually do that. It's available. All right. So those two we'll talk about for now. Block site for Android and laptop, and also Code Talkie Blocker specifically for laptop users. All right. So I'm talking on that. Then also talking about I think that's most what we'll like to go about for now. We'll look at other questions later. We need to get into today's session as we have a very little time, a very short time ahead of us today. Okay, so quickly, today we're going to be looking at a new topic that says digital literacy for educators and effective learners engagement tools and techniques. All right, so we understand that now that we're in the midst of the digital shift, in this era of the digital transformation, all right, so educators have to get familiar, all right, so with e-learning, so which involves a lot of things, which involves a lot of terms, a lot of techniques, a lot of tools, right? So this session is tailored at equipping you at helping you to understand what it looks like, digital literacy for educators. All right, so you're gonna be coming across the terms, the ideas, and practical scenarios, talking about environments where digital education is obtainable, and seeing it practically the way it looks like and all of that. So you're going to be seeing that today in this session. All right. So then we're also going to be looking at effective learners engagement tools and techniques. How can you? This is a big problem. All right. So we couldn't look at it deeply in the panel session, and we're going to be looking more into it today. How to effectively engage your learners in a virtual space to get the best of them. So this leaving with no option other than to welcome on board for our speaker for today. That's Mr. Lani Oforola, who is an ETL consultant from Turkey. All right, Mr. Lani, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. You can hear me.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Okay, so Mr. Ney, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you very much. All right, so Mr. Ney, at this point, I hand over to you.
Oh, all right, good. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Debayo. Thanks for this platform, and thanks for giving me this platform to actually share my experience with educators all over the world. Um, I'm also appreciate everyone for joining. I appreciate everyone. Like, thanks for your time and the sacrifices you have to be a part of this program. Having said that, I don't know, Mr. Debayo, can you please stop sharing your screen so I can share mine?
Very well, very well.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, great. So you have it now.
All right, okay, still don't have it. I still don't have it. Okay. Oh yeah.
Okay, you have it now, right?
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yes, I have it now.
Oh, great.
So, um, I believe you can all see my screen.
Yes, we can.
All right, cool. All right, good morning once again. My name is Lee Bukolo. I'm speaking from Turkey, I'm a teacher. And I want to talk about digital literacy for educators. It's no more news that digital literacy is the way, especially for educators. And we all know life is not static. Um, Change is constant. Everything is changing, I mean, rapidly. A lot of things are actually coming in place. A lot of applications. People are coming up with different things to engage people, not to lose their customers, to make money, and to impact their society. And this is the change we are faced with. Nobody knew this was happening um, this time last year, and suddenly we find ourselves in it. And this is the question I want to raise on us. How prepared are we for the challenges ahead? Seeing or not seeing problems coming in sight, or challenges coming in sight, or anticipating or non anticipating what the challenges might be. How prepared are we for the next phase of our life and whatever will come up in the nearest future? So it borders on the question of change actually. Life is not static. We grow, we change. The world is rapidly changing, and we all know individuals, we are changing too. So challenges this time, the challenges this environment, this dispensation has brought to us is kind complex, so challenging and complex, and that is life for you. Life could be challenging and could be complex. But how prepared are we? How have we been able to build our observer? And these are the questions and these are the reasons why we are here today to actually develop ourselves in terms of migrating from the traditional way of teaching that is restricted to the four walls of the classroom into an online space. That is why we are here. So technology is no longer a choice. If you agree with me, what we are doing today is pure technology. Somewhere in Asia, in Europe, and you are somewhere in Africa. We have one of us from Asia. All over the world. This is purely technology, and it's no longer a choice. It has become a necessity. You know, it's a need of individuals. It is a need for every one of us. We just need this. All right. So we are not trying to say that as a teacher, the technology will replace you. No. What we're trying to do is to make sure that we make effective use of the uh, technology available to us at this dispensation, at this time, this current, period, to effect the change we are supposed to effect, or we are meant to effect, as the case may be. Okay, so transitions. There was a time where we were restricted to television. There was a time we were restricted to newspapers, like uh, the the hard copies of the newspapers. I can't remember the last time I handled an hard copy of the newspaper. I've always been online checking news online. All of us do. I think we all do that too. So it is changing, and we without um, uh, any iota of shy, we know that all of us have been actively using the internet. Now, let's get into why it is important for teaching. It says if schools don't train students to use and think digital or think about digital tools in a thoughtful way, where else will it is it going to happen? If teachers educators are not thinking of um, if schools don't train students to use and think about digital tools in a thoughtful way, where else is it going to happen? I think it's a question for all of us. It's a rhetorical question. Think about it. So, as a teacher, you're supposed to give these students or make them think about digital tools and digital literacy. So if you don't know as a teacher, where else will your student learn it from? So it's a question for all, and it's a big challenge to all of us. So, and that is why EAZY-DIGI EdTech is passionate about, giving all of us, giving teachers the best um, in terms of digital tools, digital education, literacy, and digital and maximum. I mean, maximizing the digital environment for the maximum advantage of both the teacher and the student for excellent productivity. So let's go. So I said digital education is, I'm not going to bore you with all these stories. Digital technology, we all know educational technology, education, the technology, edtech. So it's not going to be, I'm not going to bore you with my long stories. You all know this. Let's move on into the evolution. I was talking about the evolution, how we have been able to move from 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 the ages in the past. Look at where we are coming from. Look at where we are, where we have moved. Look at the impacts that have gone. I mean, that have been that have actually we have actually undergone. So these are effects. Evolution. Evolution is taking place every time. We are not we didn't know that it will come in a sudden manner like we have it now. But thank God for it. It has come, and we are expected to take full advantage of. And thank God, I appreciate those of us that are here online to grab this opportunity. So we move on. Education technology can be perceived as a science. Sorry, okay. Can be perceived as a science of techniques and methods by which educational goals could be realized. So, educational goals. That's the essence of teaching. What do you want to achieve at the end of your 40 minutes class? What do you want to achieve at the end of the lecture? So these are the goals. So we want to make use of educational technology to drive home these goals and still achieve the expected goals without missing any part or leaving any part out. And these are the essence, these are the functions. So we make use of the computer, the iPad, and all of those things. Now, arousing terrain. Well, I think I don't want to bore you with all of these stories. I just want to familiarize you, like, let us be familiar with all of these things, so that it will be easier for you to, to, to navigate through when we get to the other part of the lecture. So we know educational technology is a value addition to quality, relevance, and appropriateness, and in other such attributes, transforming education by making it dynamic and responsive to the passions that move the learners and arouse the perspective. All right, can go. The obligations of the teachers. You are expected to incorporate the old and the new, and that's the good thing about our age. You know, we are representative of the old style entering into the new way. So it is a very good advantage for us as teachers, especially teachers of this age, that we are able to use to incorporate the whole style of teaching into the new style of teaching. So we'll be talking about student engagement later. So, what are some of the things you have been using in your former classrooms can also be employed in your digital classroom, in your online classrooms. So it's an obligation to incorporate. So it's not, we are not saying that you should leave completely what you are used to, what you know about the traditional class, or the skills, the pedagogy, the enthusiasm you use while teaching in the classroom, and pick up the new. No. Technology is not going to replace you as a teacher. You still remain the teacher. You still remain the instructor. All right. We are just making use of technology. All right. So drive home your points, and that's the difference. So we are not leaving technology to do some things for us. Of course, we will do. There are applications, there are tools that will do some things, some of these things for us. But then for us to remain relevant, and active in the classroom, especially in engaging your students, we all need to to we all need ourselves as a teacher, to do all of these things. Use of all available technology is part of the obligation. Encourage collaborative learning, collaboration, to lay foundation for lifelong learning. These are the obligation of a teacher. And they say when the purpose of the thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. So as a teacher, you should know your obligations. As an educational technology teacher or as a digital teacher, you should also know your obligations. And these are your obligations. So let's move on. Now look at the teaching aids and where we were coming from. We started from the blackboard. I know some of us use the blackboard. We use the OHP to some extent. OHP is overhead the projector, and overhead projector were installed in big lecture theaters, classrooms. While we were, I mean, I'm talking about Nigeria then, and I think they're still using that now. Then some people, and if you check some churches now, some churches were using OHP, overhead projector, and at some point they discovered the picture quality of an OHP is not as clear and and it's not as clear as the television. So they started using the television. Churches no longer use projector; they use television for very good high definition picture quality. So now we are now using the LCD, the PC, the whiteboard. Now the whiteboard. I remember my story when the first time I was exposed to a digital whiteboard, a digital board. It was crazy. It was so funny. I was lost, completely blank. I didn't know how to use it. And it wasn't my fault because I was not trained in that way. As a teacher, I was trained with Blackboard. When I went to teacher training, when I did my teaching practice in Nigeria, so I was trained with Blackboard, but I was not even trained with OHP or television. Now I've been exposed to teach with a whiteboard, a digital board. Where do I start? But with time, I started getting used to it. Me, it was so embarrassing that it was one small boy, one of my kids that came like, teacher, let me help you her. I'm like, oh, okay, oh, I got it. No, it's okay, I got it. This Nigerian boat face. All right, so this is a evolution. This is the evolution, and now we are in the digital world. The new world is the digital world. We are living even the physical space into the online, the 100% online space using this board. And these tools are very very available. The LCD, the whiteboard. There are different boards online now to teach conveniently without stress. Let's move on. So now build a learning culture. Okay, teacher develop knowledge and skill. The expectation of a teacher. You're building the learning culture. Develop skills, understand learning, and the need to facilitate learning. Create learning opportunities. You're building a learning culture. The learner, the teacher, the administrator. The expectations of all of these three uh, key players in learning. As a teacher, what do you do? As a learner, what do you expect from your learner? And as administrator, where you work, your school, the management, what is expected of them to do to create a conducive or a bright learning environment. So these are the expectations. So we go. The types of educational technology, I don't want to bore you with the science of hardware and software. We all know the hardware and software, know, software, hardware, all of these things. So I don't want to bore you with that, sorry, because of our time. All right. So I want to pick something from this page. So technology can play a traditional role in delivery vehicle as a delivery vehicle for instructional lessons or in a constructive way as partners in the learning process. So now in a constructivist way, technology helps the learner build more personal interpretations of his or her world. Now, this is where I'm going. Technology is a learning tool to learn with, not from. is a tool to learn with. Just like we have our screwdriver, just like we have our spanners. They are tools to work with. You know what you want to do as a teacher. You know what you want to do as a brick, as a automobile mechanic. You know what you want to do as a computer scientist. But you need tools to work with to do these things. You understand? So technology is a learning tool to learn with, and I don't want us to forget this part. It's very important. It makes the learner gather, think, or analyze, synthesize information, and construct meaning with what technology presents. So we are not taking your role as a teacher. Technology is not going to take your role as a teacher. Okay, but the only unfortunate thing that can happen is if you are not updated, someone that is updated will take your role. That's the truth of the matter. Okay, so if you don't know, people that know will take the space from you, and that's the difference. So technology is a tool to learn with and not from. All right. So technology as tool to support knowledge construction. Okay, I don't want to bore you with these too. Technology as information vehicles for exploring knowledge to support learning by constructing. There's information reading and all. Okay, proper implementation technology gives students more control of their own learning and tends to move classroom from teacher-dominated environment to ones that are more learner-centered. And that's very true. It takes it away from the teacher, not 100% from the teacher, but students want to be involved. They want to partake. They want to participate. They want to be involved. They want to be in the class. They want to be there. Okay, they want to contribute like actively. They don't just want to sit down. You just learn how the instructions, the information, like we have it in the traditional classes. Students sitting for 40 minutes, and at the end of the 40 minutes, psychology have it that um, uh, uh, that you can only have an attention of a student for just 12 minutes in 40 minutes. In every 40 minutes, a kid paid full attention for just 12 minutes. Okay, so if we are doing that, so we need more. And I mean, thank God for technology. We need more things to do to get them, involved in the system, in the training. You understand? So we really need to support them. We need to create um, empathy. We need to put them into the system, and this is why educational technology is digital literacy. Digital technology is so beautiful because there are a lot of things that keep them engaged in the system and in the classroom without losing concentration. So, internet has started reshaping education. It's no doubt. It's so true. Education will not be the same the next decade, and that is true of the matter. Thank God we are entering into a new decade. This is 2020. The next 10 years, you know what I'm talking about. And I want to say a big congratulations to all of us that are participants of this program. It's gonna be this is a life-changing experience, and I must tell you this. Education will not be the same in the next decade. Look at 2010 to 2000 to where we are today. Education was not the same. We are not doing all of these things online. Very few of us know about Zoom, all these online conferencing, uh, video conferencing media applications. And the truth is, there is no going back. The traditional classroom has to be transformed. Even in the traditional classroom, schools are resuming, and student administrators are putting on structures. They're putting up structures to continue the digital education. So this is the implication. They will have to reduce some of their staff and give students information. They give them more work to do online than in physical environment. So many universities, colleges may not survive by the end of the decade. That is true because things will be purely online. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I was reading in the news that Nigerian citizens in America, schooling in America, will have to come back to their country if their university is going purely online. That's the implication. So what's the fate? So if I want to go and study abroad. I want to study abroad, but now might not be useful again. So U.S. government is saying, okay, if your school is switching to online class, online education, that means you have to go back to your country and access the university from your country online. So the future teachers will not carry books but computers. So, and it is expected that every one of us as teachers should have a, a computer. A computer has become a necessity now. A personal computer, a PC is so important now, just as important as your telephone, as a mobile phone. So it is very important. These are the needs of the hour. These are the needs of the day. And we are not going back. It's not going to be, it's not as if we'll go back, just like, okay, we started using phone now. So, I mean, we will drop phone. We're not going to drop phone and go back to letter writing as if we're in 1983. Of course, we're still writing letters, of course, but it's not as we have it now. Everybody have just, it's a text message, you connect with anybody around the world. It's a WhatsApp chat, you call, you make video conferencing and all. So we are not going to go back into that archaic world. We're not going to go back into that, um, uh, uh, old practice. So we are going to move on. All right. So this is the chart that talks about the traditional and the smart classroom. Talked about the traditional classroom, the physical, the size, the traditional. On in smart classroom, the size is unlimited. You can do it anytime, anywhere. I don't know where some of us are now. Some of us may be lying on our bed, like just chilling, or taking a coffee. You can't do that in a formal classroom. Physical, limited sizes, synchronous. So it means that the teacher passes a message, you listen. But here we are doing it anytime, anywhere. The content, PowerPoint, transparency, textbooks, library, video collaboration. This is multimedia, simulation, digital library, on demand. The communication is synchronous and asynchronous. You understand? So it's so beautiful. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how I mean a better way of saying it. It is so beautiful. Now in the course of these trainings, we will be exposed to the multimedia, the harps, the simulations, the digital games, the online virtual classroom, things you can actually do. So in 40 minutes, your role as a teacher is just to put those things in place, and you might not just be doing, you won't be doing a lot, like not be shouting like we used to do in the traditional classroom. The personalization, one learning part and pace determined by learner. You understand? The learner would determine how do we want it. You want it extensive? Do you want it intensive? Do you want it big, small? These are beautiful things. So the online multimedia learning environment, teaching and learning is a one-on-one. It's one-on-one, more interactive, and all of this. I don't want to bore you with all of this. You know the benefits. Self-paced is flexible. The cost effective as share lessons among schools, reduce material costs, printing material, flashcards, worksheets, A4 paper every day. It's effective. Just buy data. That's all. And the benefits, media rates, and all of these things. I don't want to bore you with all of these benefits. We all know, and it is the need of the hour. It's incumbent upon educators today to begin preparing for the changing education paradigm of tomorrow. It is super important. Now, let me share it's an experience with you. Last year October, no, last year August. This time last year, yeah, it's 1 year already. Really, wow. Now, last year August, um, my crew here, gave us the program for the year. We have it in a Google Drive. They sent it to all of us through the official email, and we had it. I was going through the materials, the expectations, what I would teach the kids. Everything has been put in place, like from class to class, from lesson to lesson, from a lot of things. Like everything was just there. Just the expectation of a teacher is just to go there, get those materials, print them out if you want, and if you don't want to print them out, go to the classroom, connect them with a digital board, and expose them to the students, and they learn from there. Now, I saw a particular folder in this drive, and the folder is named distance learning. This time last year, coronavirus has not come. but none of us even known, none of us even knew it's going to come. So we are not aware. So now, and as for distance learning, it was so there, it was comprehensive, day to day, week by week, distance learning, a lot of programs that were put in place for students to learn from. So in March, I mean, fast forward to March, when coronavirus came and there was this need for us to go home and start teaching from home. So we received a call from the headquarters that says, oh, okay, guys, don't go home with any of those textbooks. Don't worry. The material you're going to use for the next 3 months is already so funny in your drive. Just check, go to distance learning, you'll find it there, and just keep. So I was surprised, like, really? So there are some people that are there to do all of these things, planning before time, digital education. They put it on the internet, they put it online, they put it in their folder. So anytime you need, just go there and pick. Now, a friend of mine was speaking. She works with an American college here. So she was telling me about the stress they have recently facing because they just moved from traditional teaching to digital teaching. So the expectation, the workload on them has been to create the worksheet and the materials themselves, and it's been so tiring for a lot of them. Many of them don't even know how to go about it. You understand? Now, as educator, as a participant of this training, we will all be trained on how to develop materials, create unique materials for yourself, create something, a self-made material, not just going online to download the application to download materials. And this is one of the essence and importance of this training. So that we can actually prepare ahead of time. Schools have not resumed now in Nigeria, or they are gradually resuming. Now, this is time to actually sit down and have and prepare, do this, do your worksheets, prepare your worksheets, raise quizzes. With the help of of the online tools we are going to expose you to, you create a lot of beautiful tools, flashcards, and beautiful, creative, goal-driven materials and worksheets for your kids. It makes your lesson colorful. It makes your lesson beautiful. It makes the student want to come back again. Like, I don't want to miss um, um, Miss Eunice or Bagbe Mileki's class. And these are benefits of staying connected with online digital platform classes. Now let's check the engagement. Now, a lot of teachers experience difficulties in engaging their students. I'm a witness. I'm a test. I'm a victim of that actually. Now, what do I do in 40 minutes? Even in the physical classroom, what do I do to engage these students in the classroom? They get bored easily, and when they get bored, they don't. There's nothing you can say to them. They are not going to listen. You can't just keep beating your kids every day, making yourself a monster to them. No, there are things to do in class activities. There are pre-class activities, there are in-class activities, and there are post-class, activities. Things that will make them want to come to your class every time. Things that makes you ordinarily the best teacher. Now, these are quotes from people who say if your audience is not listening, it's not their fault. It is your fault. No excuses. Mentality means that even if you believe it should be students' job to be engaged, you accept that it is your job to engage them. So it is our job as teachers to engage our students. Tell me and I will forget. Show me and I will remember. Involve me and I will learn. Benjamin Franklin. Games and gamifications that both can lead to high levels of learners' engagement and motivation. You understand? Student engagement is a quality indicator of teachers' effectiveness. So these are tools, these are things where you can do be in class, sorry, online, in an online class or and even in your traditional class. Engagement is so key. Teachers, student engagement is super important. There's no middle ground to it. We all have to engage it. We need to engage it. We need to create this contest, this real contest. We really need to create these connection with them. Now, some of us believe that, okay, because we are online now, let's just run these 40 minutes and leave them. The students tend to lose concentration online than in a formal classroom, and that's the truth. They tend to lose 100% concentration online. They do. So how do you do? What do you do to keep them engaged in this time frame, in these 40 minutes, in these 15 minutes? And these are what we are going to discuss in a few minutes. Because of our time, I won't be dwelling more on them. Now, look at the importance of remote learning. It makes teaching easier. Sorry, engagement. Importance of learners' engagement in remote learning, rather. It makes teaching easier. It fosters learning from each other. It's where um, collaboration, and all of these things come from. It produces better learning outcomes. It makes learning more enjoyable for them. It improves retention. When you create a picture around what they're doing, you don't forget. There are things that I can never forget, things I did when I was in primary school. Because of the environment, because of the picture around it, because of how the teacher, helped me to do it, and what we did to get it, or what I did, you know, to know that thing. I can never forget that thing. It's always in my memory. It enhances learners' ability to absorb, retain, and absorb. You understand? So these are important of engagement. So we don't necessarily have to feel bored or make your student feel bored because it's an online lesson. There's nothing I can do. I cannot beat you. I cannot come and jump out of the screen and beat you. So better behave yourself. You keep them engaged. They will naturally keep quiet and listen to you when they are engaged. When they feel, okay, I'm part of this program. I'm part of this team. It's not about the teacher alone. We are both doing this together. And look at the stages. We have the stages of engagement. We have the pre-class engagement. We have the in-class engagement, and we have the post-class engagement. Now, for the pre-class engagement, like what we have now, before this time, we have been talking about there is this WhatsApp class where participants have been chatting, like we've been chatting, we'll be preparing your mind, whetting your appetite about what you're about to get, the tools, things that you're going to be exposed to in this training. And that is the pre-engagement. Like you want to go, okay, let's just see. Okay, all right. Well, I want to learn about student engagement. I think I have difficulty in that area. Oh, it's gonna be an amazing class. It's gonna be a interesting class. Okay, let me. You build your expectation for that class, and you want to be part of it. You can tell your student, oh, okay, in this class you're gonna play game. You're gonna play a very interesting game, but that could be after we might have done everything we needed to do. It's a form of reinforcement, you know. So they are prepared, they are agitated, they want to do whatever you ask them to do so that they can do what they want to do. You understand? So you can post a teaser with a survey, you can post a virtual class preparation. The step class preparation is you can just ask them a question about a graphical question. Okay, what happens if your friend leaves the school today? What will you do? So when they answer those questions, like okay, like in preparation for the topic you want to teach them, just give them those teasers, just give them that preparation. So when you get to the class, you can first talk about 2, 3 questions and listen to what 2 or 3 of them will say. Then you keep the class rolling. It's part of them, something they want to share their own part of their own experiences too. They are human. So in-class activities, yeah, it's basically interactive. Like you talk about the icebreaker. There's something I use. I call it call and response. So when I say act right, my student will say do right. Uh, I guess act right. You know, yeah, act right. They say do right. When I say act right, they say do right. So there are words you give to them that call their attention, that brings their attention back to the classroom, especially for those of them that are lost. And you say these things amongst them. So when you call, when you raise the call, they respond to it. To give them to give them this sense of belonging as part of the classroom. Use the icebreaker activities, different learning games. Like there are a lot of different learning games you can use, Kahoot and all of them. I'll be showing you some of the links to them. And the post engagement class. This is what makes the teacher or the student want to come back again. Like they will always want to come back after the lesson. Like, oh, that lesson was great. The use of flashcards. I was telling you about the flashcards. Like, okay, you can use the Flipkart app to get the flashcards. You can create yourself using the Microsoft Word, which we will be taught. I mean, in the course of this training, all of these things. You can use polls, surveys, and quizzes. To get them back into the. I mean, after the class, to prepare them for the next lesson, to prepare them for the next encounter, to prepare them for the next engagement. You understand? So, and the learners engagement strategies. Look at the strategies. The strategies you want to use. You should be careful of what you use, or you should also know what you want to use. You want to use the games and non-games activities where you're teaching them. You want to use the competitive and collaborative activities. Now, competitive and collaborative activities, yeah, like, okay, you want to check the competitive nature of a student. Like, okay, appraiser, this one is better than this. All of them are good. All of them are awesome. All of them are super. But we want to compare. Okay, because students sometimes learn more when they feel, okay, this is my ability, I can do better than this, and they want to learn more. Collaborative, students can be like, okay, let's work together. Collaborative is just like, I'm part of it, like an apprenticeship thing. I'm part of this thing, and they learn through it. It's our team. It's not mine alone. It's not them. It's not theirs. I'm part of this thing. So they learn, collaborate. Like, okay, let's come together. You can give them project-based um, homework to do. You can tell them to research about a particular thing. Give them about a country to go and do a PowerPoint presentation about a particular culture in Kenya or in or in Europe or in Asia. So just give them a project base, like something they can work together home. All of them will come together to do, oh, this is what they do here. They bring out their point and they present to you and the whole class. Now, self-learning and group activities, some students, it's not always about, okay, let's just learn, I will be the teacher, I will just teach you. Sometimes you need to leave these kids to, sit down on their phone and learn while you watch them learn themselves. Sometimes they want to, like, okay, maybe some of them are lagging behind in the progress. It's the classroom situation progress. While some are picking so far, some are actually moving back. Some of them want to sit down and look at catch up. Okay, let me see. Let me look at these things myself. Let me see if I can actually get it with the help of the teacher. So while some other students in the class are actually doing some other self-learning activity too. So you give them time to work upon what they have already, and advance themselves in terms of self-learning. Some good group activities, collaborative or group activities, depends on the number of sizes. You can collaborate in pairs, shared learning, peer learning, and all of this. So you can the strategy another strategy is learning controlled and teacher controlled activities. Sorry, learners controlled or and teacher controlled activities. So you want to make it a teacher controlled activity. You want to take the position of a teacher in a class and control the activities, or you want to teach the students to control the class. Now I do this a lot. And what I do most times is when I give them a project-based homework to do, I sit down in their class in the classroom. I make I make um, I make the group leader coordinate each group, you know, and I sit down like they present to me. I watch them speak. They gesticulate. They do all of their um, displays, and sometimes it's always very fun. Some of them will not contribute, but they will learn because they are parts of that group. One or two things will be dropped into their brain, into their mind, and they're like, okay, I'm a part of this group, and oh, the teacher appraised us. Oh, okay, we did it together. You understand? So These are strategies to engage learners. All right. So ways to select the right engagement strategies. If you want to engage a small class with a competitive activity, you can use this router. Roulette is a raptivity.com. It has these things like it's a website. You can use some of their um, what's it called? Some of their tools. This is a tool in raptivity.com. This is a tool in raptivity.com too. So when you want to engage a small class with a competitive activity, you use this. All right. So young learners lose attention quickly. If you have learners that that lose attention quickly, you can make use of games like Kahoot, videos, and quizzes, and all of those things. You want to break the monotony of a solo game. Like you don't want to like listen to yourself. You listen to yourself too much, and you want to break it. Like I'm talking too much. You can make use of this game. Mountain climb. Mountain climb is also in raptivity.com. Professional trainers need special process. Now, professional trainers like we are like we are having now need special process. So what we do is this: we have a WhatsApp group in this. I mean, for EAZY-DIGI EdTech Solutions, we have a WhatsApp group. Now, a lot of us will be learning more from each other, from those groups, from that training group, from that WhatsApp group. We'll be sharing ideas and like, oh, like I know a lot of teachers, a lot of experienced and versed teachers are on this platform, listening to us and watching this video now, and more of them are on the group. So when we go back, we train like professional training and we socialize. You know, you understand? So we need to encourage learners, adults to reflect, and when you want to encourage learners and adults, you use journaling. Uh, Tell them to journal. Okay, you tell them to write journals and all of these things. You break them into group two. You can use Zoom breakout rooms and all of those things. And these are ways. These are activities you can use. The flip create, the exotic, ed puzzle, video notes. These are you can just type them on YouTube. I'm sorry, on Google rather. On Google you find them, and these are other tools you can actually use. Quillision, Propose, quizzes, magic balls, and all. Because over time I will just have to run these other sites, exotic, and the things you can use. Others include Petella, Zappa, Play, Post-its, productive check, and all of that. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you for paying attention and for this. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you, Mr. Lani. Thank you so much. All right, so we really do understand that there's a lot that you want to share with us, but just because of time constraint, we we have to you have to be this way. All right, so Mr. Ni is still with us. He's still going to be coming up to undo several sessions and then other sessions, and we're still going to mention some of these tools and uh, that we have. So I know a lot of participants are curious about the tools, about this. We're going to be dealing with these tools in the course of the training, how you can use them, how to work on the tools, how you can practically. We are concerned about what you can get and begin to use right from this training. Okay, so we encourage you to stay with us. All right, so there's a lot that we have. I mean a lot. I mean a whole lot. I mean a whole lot that we have to share with you. All right, so please stay with us. So right now we're going to end this meeting here, and then we're going to continue further conversation in the WhatsApp group. All right, so if you have questions, all right, so we don't want to take time here online, okay? We want to keep to our promise of not taking too much time. This is 1 hour already. Okay, so we're gonna continue further conversation in the WhatsApp group. So if you have any question, drop it in the WhatsApp group. We're going to take it up from there and we're going to start discussing. All right, so let's switch to the WhatsApp group now so that we can take further discussions. Once again, thank everyone for hanging on. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your presence. Mr. Lani, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the exposition. We are so grateful. It's good to have you with us. Thank you so much. All right, so goodbye, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye, everyone. Let's meet in the WhatsApp group, please, for continuation.